The following day, Rentaro walks into his classroom and meets a girl named Nano. He mentions that the exam results have been posted and asks if she's going to check them. However, Nano calmly replies that doing so would be a waste of time, since she already knows she secured the #1 spot. The moment their eyes meet, they both feel a powerful shock, and Rentaro immediately suspects that she must be one of his soulmates. Later, he checks the results with his girlfriends and learns that they all performed well. When he looks at the top of the list, he's astonished to see that Nano scored a perfect result. Curious about her, he asks the girls what they know. They explain that she's a complete genius who can answer almost any question. Some rumors even claim that she might not be human. During biology class, Rentaro ends up partnered with Nano. As he observes her, he notices that she's very different from his other girlfriends. Her elegance and composure are on an entirely different level. However, he soon realizes that she's simply copying answers from her textbook because she believes practical exams are a waste of time. In her mind, scientists have already discovered the answers, so there's no reason to repeat the work. Rentaro quietly warns her that the professor is watching. In response, Nano pretends to use the microscope, but instead of examining the specimen, she keeps reading from her textbook, claiming that this approach is far more efficient. Her behavior strikes Rentaro as almost robotic. While attempting to slice the specimen himself, he accidentally cuts his finger. He heads to rinse the wound and considers going to the nurse's office, but Nano stops him and unexpectedly places his finger in her mouth. This causes Rentaro to panic. Nano calmly explains that disinfectant isn't necessary because saliva naturally contains antibacterial properties. Rentaro is left wondering if he's dreaming. After class, Rentaro thanks Nano for helping him. She dismisses the gratitude, explaining that she only wanted him to stay so he could help her clean up the lab. Still, Rentaro tries to get to know her better and invites her to spend some time with him. Nano immediately rejects the idea, arguing that such activities are a waste of time because they produce nothing of value and do nothing to improve future prospects. Rentaro counters that having fun is part of what gives life meaning, but Nano calls his thinking delusional and claims he's wasting her time. Her response makes Rentaro start questioning whether she truly is one of his soulmates. That evening, Nano sits alone in her room, yet she finds herself thinking about Rentaro. She wonders why she helped him in the first place. Eventually, she realizes she has developed feelings for him, which she finds extremely distracting. Determined to restore her focus, she begins writing out the exact value of pi, believing the repetitive calculation will help clear her mind. However, even after filling the board and covering numerous sheets of paper, the distraction remains. She concludes that this loss of efficiency is a serious problem. The next day, Nano approaches Rentaro and unexpectedly tells him that she's in love with him and wants him to be her boyfriend. Rentaro happily says he'd love to date her, but Nano immediately rejects him. Confused, Rentaro thinks he's been pranked. Nano then clarifies that she confessed because she wants to eliminate her feelings. In her view, relationships inevitably lead to marriage and pregnancy, making teenage romance pointless. Therefore, she insists she will never go out with him. Rentaro, however, refuses to accept that conclusion. He declares that he truly loves her and won't give up. Determined, he asks her out again and pleads for a chance to prove that love has meaning. A few days later, the two visit an amusement park. Rentaro is determined to show Nano that spending time together can be meaningful. Nano, on the other hand, views the entire outing as inefficient and pointless. She notices that Rentaro is carrying an instant camera and points out that the device doesn't retain digital data, making it flawed. Rentaro simply tells her to say cheese, but before she can understand what he means, he snaps the picture. They begin exploring the park, starting with the haunted house. Nano states that she doesn't believe in ghosts, and when the actors attempt to scare them, she remains completely unfazed. She points out that the ghosts are obviously humans and wonders why Rentaro is frightened. In fact, she argues that the attraction should be called a human house instead. Next, they ride the giant teacups. Nano questions the sanity of whoever invented the ride, wondering why people would willingly line up just to be spun around in circles. To her, it seems like something designed to brainwash visitors. Later, they enter a massive maze and repeatedly run into dead ends. Nano questions why the designers didn't simply build the correct path, since the current design only makes things more difficult for customers. Finally, they board the Ferris wheel. Nano admits that she's actually afraid of heights. Rentaro sits beside her and gently holds her hand to comfort her. As the ride reaches the top, they look through the photos they took throughout the day. Nano admits that she had fun, but she still insists the day itself was meaningless. Hearing this, Rentaro suddenly decides to burn the photographs, saying they should erase the day from their memories if it truly meant nothing. However, Just before he can burn them, Nano suddenly remembers that the camera doesn't store data. If the photos disappear, there will be no record of their experience at all. She quickly grabs them. Rentaro points out that her reaction proves she values those memories. Realizing this, Nano begins to cry. Rentaro gently explains that enjoying happy moments is what gives life meaning. Nano wipes her tears with Rentaro's handkerchief and says she'll disinfect it before returning it. Rentaro nervously wonders if she plans to use her saliva again, but she clarifies that she'll simply wash it. Finally, Nano admits that she wants Rentaro to be her boyfriend because she wants to experience more meaningful moments with him. Rentaro happily tells her that he loves her. Nano then kisses him, declaring that she will pursue her desires by any means necessary. Afterward, Rentaro introduces Nano to his other girlfriends. Surprisingly, none of them object. Grateful, Rentaro thanks them for accepting her and once again promises to commit seppuku if he ever fails to treat them properly. Nano calmly suggests that poison would actually be a more efficient method. As the group begins discussing future plans, Akari becomes jealous that Rentaro visited a theme park without her. To make up for it, she suggests they all go to a water park together, hoping it will turn into their very own beach episode.